What is good, everybody? I am back with a brand new video, and today I want to go over a Discraft plastic that I have become a huge fan of, and that is the Jawbreaker plastic. Jawbreaker is a much softer plastic, pretty flimsy. It feels very tacky in the hand, but also feels very comfortable, like you have a nice grip with it. It is on the less durable side of things, and it's more of a plastic for those putt and approach molds rather than your drivers. Now, Ledstone did drop, I think this was more of a kind of a fun thing, but I think it was last year, they dropped a Jawbreaker Scorch. I bought it for the fun of it, and let me tell you, it is super flippy because this plastic definitely, once it sees a few trees, gets a bit warped. Your disc is gonna look a little bit broken, I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's when I believe the disc is perfect because you get a nice little hyzer flip, a little bit of a different flight out of that mold than you're typically used to. Currently, I bag the Jawbreaker Zone and a Jawbreaker Buzz, along with the ESP Zone and ESP Buzz. Starting with the Zone flies completely different when you have it in Jawbreaker, and it's much more of a straighter flight. Zones are an overstable putt and approach disc, but once you combine it with the Jawbreaker plastic, you now have a much more straight shot. When I am in some major trouble, tree on the left, tree on the right, need to get dead straight down, I am able to throw this disc on hyzer where I feel the gap is now becomes a bit bigger, and then it flips up to flat, maybe drifts a little bit, but overall my ESP Zone isn't gonna be able to do that. So this gives me the same feeling, the same mold, but a bit of a different flight where I can actually keep my bag a little bit more consistent with some of the same molds. Now moving on to the Buzz, here's my 5-time ESP Buzz that is honestly pretty stable, pretty overstable in a sense, where I know it's gonna have a predictable fade every time I throw it. Then here's my Jawbreaker, where I can actually throw this on some hyzer flips to straight, some hyzer flips to drift a little bit. Have to mess with my angle a little bit, but all in all, that's kind of why I like this disc, is because now I can throw it more on some turnovers where I can let the disc kind of just work itself over there. Instead of throwing the ESP on some Annie, I can just throw this Jawbreaker flat, and it kind of gives me the same response, a bit smoother. One thing that I do really enjoy about the Jawbreaker plastic, since it is gonna be a much more straight shot with the Buzz, now I don't have to try as hard. I don't have to throw a full power shot to try to hit my line. So hopefully that is giving me a bit more consistency, hitting the fairway or hitting the gap instead of throwing a full powered shot. Some days it seems like I throw full power shots better. Other days it seems like just a nice smooth shot I throw better. So it definitely gives me a bit of a different flight, but once again, keeping the same mold consistent through the bag. I am much more of a hyzer flip player, so these discs are really allowing me to throw that hyzer flip and let the disc do the work for me instead of putting it on some touchy Annie lines, which is one thing that I definitely like about this Jawbreaker Buzz that I bag, is that I can throw it on hyzer, watch it flip up, drift a little bit, but mainly staying pretty straight, just depending on the power I'm putting on it. Now, my buddy was nice enough, Kevin, picked me up a brand new Jawbreaker Buzz, which I will probably have to switch out a little bit more frequently if I keep throwing the Jawbreaker Buzzes, just because of how warped they're gonna get and how understable they will get eventually. But I've had this one in the bag for quite some time, and it's still doing me some justice, still loving it. But when it is time, I can kind of throw this one in the bag. Have thrown it a couple of times on some flat releases, and this thing is dead money, dead straight, something that's just super nice to have in the bag. And then last but not least, I actually picked this Jawbreaker Luna up. Super excited to continue to throw this and see kind of how it works in the bag. If it does, it might be useless, it might be awesome. If you putt with Lunas, this could be a serious game changer because the Jawbreaker plastic feels like my Classic Blend Burst Wardens, and I feel like it's just a really good feeling putter plastic. I'm gonna be throwing this a bit more, testing it out, but as of now, if I throw it flat, dead straight, doesn't come off the line, we will kind of see how this works out. Anyway, guys, that is my thoughts over the Jawbreaker plastic. I'm starting to bag a bit more of it, especially now that I'm throwing the buzzes. It is a little bit of a stretch because they are gonna be beat in very quickly, especially if you're hitting those trees, but as of now, I'm really loving them. I will definitely continue to bag Jawbreaker Zones because those are absolutely money. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go follow Chasing Chains _ where I post there daily, and we will see you on the next one.